Okay, second topic, Ashura Naruto. Since this ninja came out, I have seen conflicting opinions about him. Some people said he's the best. Some, authors say he disagree and said he's a waste of gold. Here's my personal take on the topic. And before I begin, I just want to point out something. I did recruit Ashura Naruto, so my view can be subjected to personal bias, and so treat this with a pinch of salt. However, I would appreciate if you can also think this way. I do put my money where my mouth is, and not only I have a clear plan and thought about him even before he was released, I did execute my plan accordingly. So my experience about him is also based on my actual hands-on experience of using him, and not just based on some theories or hypothetical scenarios only. I think this way. Would you prefer someone who never practiced martial art in his life, never physically experience or engage in any real life combat to talk about and teach you about self-defense just because he or she read a dozen of books and have some thoughts about the subjects? Well, your choice. Okay, so let's begin. Ashura Naruto, just a quick overview about his skills again. He has 30% AGI talent, 25% speed talent, 20% damage rate, 10% avoid injury rate. The passive reduce enemies defense and speed by 10%. Skills attack with 300% growth rate, 65% chance to chaos for 2 rounds, and reduce attack by 20% and avoid injury rate by 10%. Increase support at rate by 50% for 2 rounds, self recover 50 furies and recover 30 fury to other ninja. Okay, the very first thing about Ashura Naruto and the main purpose that he is created for me is for PvP purpose, and he is a PvP ninja, and his essence is within his passive. And personally, I don't think the developer will keep messing around with this type of speed debuff passive. They will eventually though, but they won't do it constantly. So for me, this type of passive will be useful for quite a long time. So even if when the new debuff passive comes out with say 15% and it won't stack with Ashura Naruto's passive, I foresee the longevity of this ninja to be more than 6 months. And this is the worst case scenarios. And if they do stack, then I would just simply put the two of them together in a PvP formation. Problem solved. Simple as that. Now, the second point that I want to talk about is that I think that even the Chinese developer didn't expect this point to happen. But this is actually a very interesting and surprising turns of event. Ashura Naruto can also be quite useful in PV as well. In fact, he helped me to clear stage 24 from lab to all the way to the end, and that was just awesome. And exactly because this happened not only with me but also with other players, then this created a huge conflict within the player communities, especially those who didn't experience this. And one side acting cocky and said you guys are so shallow and fail to recognize the brilliance of this ninja as I do, and the other side just defensively launched their attack back and said only dumbass and noobs will recruit this ninja, blah blah blah. I will patiently wait for Hamura or Kaguya, and they're way better, you know. And the fight goes on. For me, I believe both sides are overreacting, and here's my view and reason about this. First of all, for those who love Naruto and support Naruto, I got a question for you. Seriously, seriously, that you think that you actually foresee or can foresee Ashura Naruto can be this useful in PV, especially in lab? Now, actually, I'm having quite a hard time believe it, since nobody could actually articulate it about this clearly and convincingly in the past before he was released. So perhaps it is more of a lucky punch than, oh, I have planned this all along. Come on. Uh, Luck is a part of this game, and there's no shame in admitting it. The real shame is when you get your luck passes by and you didn't take advantage of it. Uh, it is, also it is quite easy, and it is a lot easier to look back and explain something in hindsight. The real challenge is to do it in real time on the spot. And the fact is that I I keep updating myself with news from the forums and from other websites. And before this ninja came out, before this ninja was released in our versions, in the English versions, nobody actually explained and actually convinced me that why this ninja can be this useful and powerful in PvE. Okay, and also if you actually put a lot of thought into something and have the courage to carry it out, and if it works, very good, and if it doesn't, learn something from it and move on. Listen to good reasons and constructive criticisms and feedbacks, but don't bother listen to haters. There are those experts who are very good at pretentiously lecturing people, picking fights, and trying to making you look bad. Remember, those can do like to do, those who cannot do like to teach. And also, back to the topic about Ashura Naruto. There is something that I believe a lot of people have missed or have misunderstood about this ninja. What makes him a lot better in PvE than a lot of people would have expected, and why despite all of this accomplishment in PvE, I still at the very beginning call him a PvP ninja. Well, here are the reasons. First of all, for me, the definition of a PvE ninja is that the ninja not only needs to work well with other ninja in PvE and giving support and utility in the team, but also the ninja need to be able to work on its own. And what I mean is, now consider this example. If you are about to recruit your first special ninja, if you're about to spend gold to buy your first special ninja, and it's gonna be Ashura Naruto, remember this is your first and only one. So one thing I can guarantee, you won't be able to experience any of the magic, and your progression will be way behind compared to getting 3-Eye, Indra, Toneri, Reanimate, Nagato, or even Outer Path Obito, and the list goes on. And it is because that Ashura Naruto need a strong PvE base in your team. When you have a strong existing PvE team, he can complement your team further in many ways. One way is that his 10% speed debuff will allow your 3-Eye, for example, to go first in many occasions. When going first make a decisive difference. And if you have Toneri, for example, then the 10% attack debuff will add up with Toneri 30%, which will allow you to deal damage at those stages where you can only rely on DOTP4. And of course, Naruto giving add to support and reduce attack from enemies are very useful to improve your whole team survivability. but only when he can survive long enough to cast his skill. Another thing that I believe is that I believe 99% of players, if not all, including me, have missed out about this point was that we never could have imagined how powerful and useful chaos can be at late stages in lab. You know, chaos works like a charm here, both for offensive and defensive purpose. When the enemies are chaos, they can't attack you, and you don't need to increase your survivability through HP, defense, attack debuff, whatever. If they won't attack you to begin with, then you don't need to worry about your survivability at all. And also, when they attack themselves, they deal more damage to them than you could have achieved it through your own ninjas. Initially, we all think chaos won't be useful in PvE. First of all, because not all stages chaos can be applied, and second of all, even when it can be applied, the enemies in the past dealt almost next to nothing when they attack themselves. That is because their defense is way higher than their own attack. Now, in lab, for a very long time, we always have this belief and his perceptions that lab is famous for its defense, and unlike Mount Myoboku, for example, where the enemies are famous for their attack power, so people tend to and people get used to get stuck in lab because they can't do enough damage, and they tend to stop at Mount Myoboku because they die too fast. And nobody could have expected that, at the very late stages in lab, the trend has changed. Over there, the enemy's attack power is on par with their defense, so they hit themselves even harder than your highest duty caster can damage them. I recorded all the videos. If you don't believe me, go back and watch it for yourself. So the missing point is that the magic of chaos in PvE is the thing that nobody could have expected, or at least I didn't hear from anyone mention about it before Ashura Naruto came out. No one. And here are the two tips for you. The first tip is that if you already reach those stages in lab and don't have Ashura Naruto, you can possibly use reanimated Itachi to recreate the similar effect. Or if you will recruit Orochimaru in the future, he will be great there as well. The second tip is that if you want to take advantage of chaos, remove all the ninja caster in your team. In case you didn't know, chaos will be override when there are more than one CC in place. Okay, so like petrifications or silence or stun, over there, if you are planning on fully using Ashura Naruto, do not put him together with Indra, for example, unless without Indra your team will be destroyed in first round, then yeah, no choice. Okay, so this is kind of my entire findings and thoughts about Ashura Naruto. I hope that I can help clearing out a lot of misconceptions about these ninjas, because I think for a very long time I believe a lot of players have been underestimating Ashura Naruto for the wrong reason, and a lot of people also have been overestimating him for a wrong reason.